What's up, guys? I told you I was going to do some diet stuff. Here we go. So calories are going to dictate what we weigh. Macros are going to dictate what we look like. Micros are going to dictate how we feel. It is vital to make sure that we have a caloric intake that matches our age, our activity levels, and then also specifically your goals. But if your caloric intake doesn't make sense and you're under, then you're going to put yourself in a catabolic state, and we don't want that. You can even put yourself in a hypercatabolic state. You can create metabolic derangement, and at that point, now you're having issues with your thyroid function and so on and so forth. And that's not ideal, obviously. So if we have the right amount of calories, we're not going to witness those types of things. But in that catabolic state, you're more likely to burn lean tissue mass as a fuel source. Your body's storing everything you're putting in because it doesn't know what it's going to get, what it needs to function with on a regular basis. So essentially you're in starvation mode. So we don't want that. If you're consistent with the right caloric intake, then we're going to stay away from that. Then we'll be in more of a metabolic state or an anabolic state where we're burning fat and storing and building lean tissue mass. And that's ideally the goal. So for the most part, a lot of people that I've worked with to this point, your caloric intake is so low that that's where you're at. You're in a catabolic state. And again, in that state, you're burning lean tissue mass, you're storing body fat, and then you're even gonna see a breakdown in bone density. You'll have less healthy hair, skin, nails, because you're not giving your body enough as far as what it needs to function. So guys, we need to be around 2,400, 3,200 calories a day. Ladies, 1,600 to 2,400 calories a day. And again, those things are dictated by age, gender, activity levels. And I'm gonna show you real quick a caloric calculator that's gonna help you get pretty close to that number. All right, here's our macro and calorie calculator. And again, it's not gonna be 1,000% accurate, but I've already filled this out. 38 years old, female, 5'6", 155 pounds. Our goal is to lose weight, activity level, lightly active, exercise 3 to 5 days a week. We hit calculate. And then with that specific goal, it's gonna give you a breakdown for your macros. So it's got 40% carbs, 40% protein, 20% fat for a loss phase. I have other suggestions with that. That works. I have other ones that work too. So it's gonna give you the amount of protein, carbs, and fats in grams that you're supposed to have. And our total calories is 1,733. So a lot of you guys are so far under. I've worked with a couple females. You're at like 1,200, 1,500. You're under. Think about it like a fire. You want that metabolism to get higher. You want to be burning calories. And the only way to make a fire bigger is to fuel that fire. So you have to be giving your body what it needs to see the results that you want. All right, so we can go in here. If you feel like that's kind of high, we can go to sedentary and then hit calculate. It's gonna bring it down a little bit, not a ton. So now we're down around 1,500, but that's not 1,000% accurate. So maybe the suggestion would be to start with a realistic caloric intake that we can hit eating 4 or 5 times a day. And I'm gonna give you a zone diet plan, and it's gonna explain those things to you as well. So we need to be eating breakfast, lunch, dinner, 2 snacks during the day to achieve that caloric intake. So you don't need to eat a ton when you eat, we just need to be consistent with those macros. All right, so here we go. Macronutrients are essential nutrients that the body needs in large amounts to maintain structure and function, to provide energy. What are they? Protein helps rebuild, repair tissue. Carb is energy. Fat is also energy, but it supports hormone function, helps our body absorb nutrients, helps with the uptake of nutrients. So we never want to get into a diet that is asking you to exclude or restrict any of these essential macros, because again, that leads to that catabolic or hypercatabolic issue, metabolic derangement. So again, now we're burning lean tissue mass, storing body fat, and you just don't want that. So a lot of times people get on these diets where it's like all protein and fat, or they're restricting fat, and you might look great for a while, and then your hair starts falling out, and you don't want that, Gollum. We're not trying to do that. We don't want to be emaciated with our hair falling out. Don't do that. So it is important to make sure that what we're doing makes sense. We need a balance of all of these things. So something else that people see once they get onto one of these diets is they start gaining weight. We want that. You're going to gain weight because you're gaining lean tissue mass. You are now in a diet that's supporting healthy gains as far as gaining lean tissue mass, gaining muscle, and burning body fat. And then in conjunction with that, 1 pound of body fat is 5 times the size of 1 pound of muscle. So if you gain 10 pounds of lean tissue mass, eventually you're gonna lose 10 pounds of muscle. Your size is gonna be completely different, but you're gonna weigh the same. So don't necessarily focus on what the number on the scale is gonna be because it's gonna change day to day anyways because of what you're eating. So if you're not void of sugars and you're not void of dairy and you're not consistent with your water intake, you're gonna see all kinds of fluctuations on the scale. So I would pick a day once a week where you weigh, and then you're gonna see more consistency as far as what your weight says on the scale. And then on top of that, just measure yourself. If you're really that worried about it, go off measurements. Gaining lean tissue mass, essentially gaining weight in the beginning, is good. It takes lean tissue mass for us to burn calories. So the more lean tissue mass we have on our body, the more calories we're gonna burn, and the more body fat we're gonna burn as well. So getting down to breakdowns here with our macronutrients, if you wanna lose weight, if that's your goal, we need to figure out, one, how many calories we're taking in, and then that is gonna be the breakdown as far as our macronutrients. So proteins at 40%, carbs at 40%, fats at 20%, and a good rule of thumb, a good number to follow on a maintenance phase is gonna be 40% of that protein, 30% carb, 30% fat. So next I'm gonna show you a zone diet, which is a breakdown that pretty much puts these things exactly where we want them. So it's gonna put us in between or right about those percentages. We just need to figure out how many calories we need to be taking in, and then we need to follow that zone diet. Lastly, we have the zone meal plans, which is gonna put our calories and our macros and everything together for us. So we've done all the work to figure out what we need, and now we're gonna use this. So read this because it's gonna help you understand exactly how to utilize this diet plan. So on this sheet, we've got templates to work off of. So my suggestion would be, ladies, start with the medium female range. So for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, we need 3 blocks. For snacks, we need 1 block. Guys, if you can, we should probably start with the 5s and 1 or 5s and 2s. So 5 blocks for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, 2 blocks for snacks. And again, I'm not explaining all this. You guys need to read this. This will tell you exactly what I'm talking about. So then this is gonna have charts for us for proteins, carbohydrates, fats. So it's gonna tell you what you need in what amounts. So the breakdowns here on these pages, there's another page too with carbs. Yeah, this is all carbs on the second page as well. So this is gonna tell you what 1 block is, and then you would need to multiply that by 3 ladies or 5 guys if we're doing breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And then you would use exactly what it says if you were doing 1 block snacks, or you would double that if you were doing 2 block snacks. So that's gonna give you the options. Then it's gonna give us even more. So down here, there's 2 block menus, there's 3 block menus, 4 and 5 block menus. So it's gonna break it down. It's gonna give you examples. It's gonna put all that stuff together for you. And then it takes the thought process out of it. Then on the very last sheet, there's 1 block snacks. So again, ladies, if we're doing 1 block snacks, you would just do exactly what it says. Guys, if we're doing 2 block snacks, you would multiply whatever it says by 2. That's gonna give you what you need. So this is gonna be a way for us to get right in line with what's going on. And then if the suggested amount that I just gave you doesn't put you at your calories, then move up to the next level. And then if you guys want help with this, let me know. This is to do on your own. I charge people for diet. I am extremely well versed with this. Everything that I just gave you was like layman's terms. So if you have a hard time figuring this stuff out, I am happy to help you. It's just gonna cost you money. And then that way too, if it hurts a little bit in the pocket, you're more than likely gonna stick with it and you're gonna see results. And I've helped a bunch of people here already with basically everything that I just did. So I didn't go above and beyond, but they were able to follow these things, and every single one of the people that I helped has seen significant results. So if you guys have questions about this, hit me up. If you want me to actually structure a plan for you and take all the thought process out of it, I'm happy to do that. It's just going to cost you money. Have a great day, guys.